So let's make sure I'm pinned. I think I'll do that way. Oh, there we go. Hopefully you can hear me. I thought we'd go back to old school and try doing this. Let me sit down. I'm not going to see my head when I'm standing. A little bit of experimentation for our first day of this new way of doing things and trying different things out. Hang on. Hopefully, yeah, I don't know if you can, if it's the top of the head. Okay, we'll start right. So back to the roots, back to basics. We are going to start with some basics. I am still continuing to learn, and I'm actually stepping it up with my instructor training. So there's loads being thrown at me, but my guidance coming that this hour, what people like is one, the Qigong and the movements, but the two is the fact that this is not just a normal Qigong class. If you've been following me for a little while, you'll know that I am training to be a qualified Qigong instructor. I'm halfway through my instructor training. I have also doing some courses, diploma in Qigong, a meditation teacher certification, breathwork certification, soul guidance coach certification, amongst a whole host of other NLP and FLP training as well, which is neuro-linguistic programming and tapping or emotional freedom technique, which links into the Qigong because it uses the points, the acupressure points. Meridian alignment coach as well. So all of these things. So, and I thought, well, they're all titles. However, the core of why I started this is my guidance as it comes through, the images that I'm shown when we're doing our meditations. And those are the things that when I've spoken to my members, they say they're the things they love. And like the script that we've been using, like the Louis Hay script that we use when we work with the body's emotional intelligence, is sort of ad-libbed from that. So I've been looking at how our classes are, and the classes that I want to, someone would say hello, want to hold for you, and the movement is part of it. The sound and the channeling is a big part. So I'm just going to do what my guidance tells me to do, which is kind of like what we've been doing, not too dissimilar. But I wanted you to know that's not necessarily the normal format of a Qigong class, because obviously the ethos of that is there, but also so is a lot of, I'm drawing in a lot of other stuff to what we do as I create and develop my own teaching skills. And when I go through my own exams for that, I'm bringing in my own stuff, if you like. So, but we will be going over and working through, like we were working through the seasons each month. We'll be working through the different brocades, and we will go through like working with lower back issues, because as I'm doing that stuff, it's good for me to be throwing that stuff in, because then I'm practicing it in real time. I will make mistakes because I am still learning, so please bear with me. So I've entitled this video Day One, because this is like me talking initially about that. Classes will be from 6:30 till 7:30 AM UK time. They will be, again, my body seems to have switched, and I've been doing them personally from 7 till 8. So it's as if my body's already on our clocks go back at the end of this month in the UK, and they seem to be, in my body has already adjusted to that. So I've been getting up later, which will be earlier. So I'm just going to do the video so that they're for you to do in your time. So this is one of the things as well. You don't need to be live with me. What we do in this energetical container, especially because I'm going to be bringing in the Reiki, as well as the light language transmissions during, which is the bit that might be a bit different for some people, a bit more esoteric, I'm afraid. But think of it as just the sounds that I'm expressing are from my heart. Don't worry about what they mean. They're more to be felt, to allow you to, like when you listen to scalar wave technology, it's about these different sounds that work on the pitches of the brain and all kinds of levels. So that does it through technology. This is the organic path that I've chosen. So if you want to be able to do this in a more organic fashion, your ascension is definitely where I'm working with. So if you don't know what that is, don't worry, you don't have to be on that path, but that's what a lot of the stuff I talk about will help with. The shifts in our body, the shifts in our emotions, and the shifts with the mind. So transforming your life, taking steps to change, whether inadvertently, like deliberately, or whether it's happening for you and you just kind of falling through it. These things can help you. So it might be that you've been told you need to lose weight, or you've been told you need to do some gentle exercise, and somehow you've ended up here. That's perfectly fine. Just allow this to be a space for you to connect to your heart and to take a retreat and connection for you. Any of the card readings and the stuff that's on this page that you'll see I'm very different to a lot of the way I do things is slightly different to how other people do things. So you may like that, you may not. All I say is what resonates, great if it resonates. If it doesn't, just discount what doesn't, because we are all unique individuals, which is why my page is called Love Authentic Me. So on YouTube. Anyway, blessings for your day. Excuse the white. I've got my long johns on. So we're just going to start with a little warm up, and today will be rather short because of the chatting and the introduction. But this is if you've not got a lot of time, so you can skip through, you can redo this video as many times as you like. We're going to do some basics. So, and I mean really basics, because actually this counts, our posture counts. So if you look at me, I'm just literally rocking back and forth from my feet to my heels. So this kind of motion with the feet, and feeling my center of gravity, my balance, but also feeling to the hips, feeling to where they are. Put your hands on your hips into what we call Wonder Woman pose. Whole TED Talks on this one. This pose gives the body confidence. It's telling you and telling your cells and your brain that you're okay, that you're feeling safe. You're not in a posture, I'm afraid. You're confident and all is well in this now moment. So little shake with the legs. We're just going to give a little bit of a warm up. Now, as we move into winter from autumn, it's shifting with the weather. We need to do more movement to warm up the body and more stretching so that we don't pull any muscles. Qigong is effortless flow. It's not, you're not going to necessarily pull any muscles, but you can if you're with anything, if you lean slightly more, and I don't want to scare you, but for to cover me, just to sort of say to you and cover you, you need to warm up the body, and we need to kind of in incrementations work with the body. So you may on some occasions not be able to move your body as much as you can elsewhere. So little shakes, and then going to move into shaking from the core. So bounce on the knees to start with, and then start to shake the arms. Now this movement, you might hear it called shaking the tree. It's part of the master keys in the golden crowning, when we're moving energy around, and we're basically just waking up the body, shaking off any excess energy. Great to do if you're in fight or flight. So if you get panic attacks like I used to when I was younger, this is great. You can bounce from foot to foot, shifting the weight. We're working with like rebalancing, resetting, new beginnings, new cycle. Give me a little wiggle. And the whole body now. I want you to kind of shake up and loosen the shoulders as well. Don't worry about feeling silly. We're only warming up. Just loosening up. You can do that for longer. If you shake like this for 3 minutes every day, that resets the nervous system. Now do the same, but I want you to lift the hands, stay floppy, but the arms come up over the head, shaking out the lymphatic system, the liquids. Now breathe with me. Take your awareness now to your breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. Hands can come down, keep the breath. And let the stillness over the body, but the breath continue. Fully in, fully out. If you can see me with it, move itself. At the end. What they're moving into, along with a deliberate cough, I want you to take your hands to your chest and circle them. Breathing in still. Breathing out, and as you're breathing out, at the end. A little cough. And now this time when you exhale, take the hands down and express the sound of a s, which is the lung sound, and then a little cough at the end. So we're kind of extending that expressing. And I want you to think also about when you're breathing in fresh chi, prana, ki. Okay, you might find that you can go as a lot longer than you expect with that sound. Go at your own pace. Extra one for me. I can feel my need clearing. And you noticed I'm pushing over as well now. Arms come up. Keep with the sound, but we're going to go into spinal cord breathing, but we're going to keep with that breathing in and this time I want you to go back to what we were doing after you've done 2 or 3 of the spinal cord breathing. We're going to switch the sound to a zzz, like a buzzing, and we're going to gently tap here. So put your fingertips together, gentle pecking. Breathing in, breathing out. In and working on the physical. Really feel it sort of gutturally through the chest if you can, but don't worry too much. Just play around and feel into it. With incrementation, you'll learn or feel into that more. Focus on the sound and knocking on these points. Is your first focus. Next level of focus is the breath exhaling and the at the end. I can't let you in the garden just yet, darling. It's got three cats going, let me out, I want to go out. And just hands over the heart now. Put your so if you write with your right hand and you do stuff with your right hand, that one goes underneath. And same with the left. Whichever is the most dominant hand that you do the most things with goes underneath. Breathing in, breathing out. Now tuning back into how we started, your balance, your feet. Take your awareness to your feet, the balls of your feet and the toes. We're slightly wider than hip width and the knees are slightly bent. Eyes are closed. If you can do this with your eyes closed, then please do so. You can do some practice of this with eyes closed. Otherwise, then open the eyes as you do this for your balance. Lift up on the toes and then slightly rock back. If you can do again, it takes some practice to do it with eyes closed because of balance and movement, but just starting here, this is the place that you would start by doing that movement with the eyes shut. Breathe in as you come up, breathe out as you come down. Now bring the hands down, arms, and keep that movement. We're opening up our feet gates, grounding. I want to give you a visual of a mountain. And I want your awareness to go to the top, to the peak of the mountain. And then as your feet go down, go deep down into the earth. And feel the feet steady now, still flat, but keep the hands where they are. Keep the awareness where you are. Slightly bent knees, pelvis tipped forward slightly. Awareness goes to the breath. Bring your hands up as if you're encircling a huge tree trunk and bend the knees down into what we call Sansu, hugging the tree. And feel through the thighs the strength, that core balance, and the arms. If it gets too much for the arms, bring them down to the lower dantian. Take a few breaths before bringing them back up. Now, we're not going to do an hour-long pose like this, but this is something you can build on for your time holding this pose. But we are going to do a minute hold for now. Nice lengthened spine. Remember, if you need to rest, knees come up, hands come here. You take a couple of breaths and then come back. So work in incrementation with what's working for your body. Breathing through it through the nose, not the mouth. In through the nose, out through the nose. Telling the body all is fine. Give your focus to the breath. In through the nose, out through the nose, in through the nose. I'm going to push you a little bit longer. In through the nose, out through the nose. Feel that core strength, spine nice and straight. In through the nose, out through the nose, telling the body all is well. We don't need excess oxygen because we are fine. Nose is for breathing, mouth is for eating. Push through a little bit longer, a few more seconds. And release the hands, release the legs, bring them down to the side. And hold. Feel the tingling in the hands. If there is any, spread the fingertips. Focus on the image of light. I want you to imagine there's light coming from the top of the head. Our Earth Star chakra is deep down below. And the goal of this is there's two little lights. We want to link them together. I want you to visualize a star beneath you about 2 meters and one above you, above your head. And they're never quite touching, but they're going in a figure of 8. So we're going to start with the one above the head. It flows down in a spiral motion. When it gets to the heart, it passes through the heart, and then it throws round, comes around to the opposite direction, and then meets at the bottom, then comes, loops back up, crosses over in the figure of 8 in the middle at the heart, and back up, and that loop continues. And at the same time, the other one's doing the same, coming up from the bottom, but they're never quite meet. They're moving, circulating, connecting, each time getting closer and closer to meeting. Visualize that happening, and then feel the meeting in the middle. As they meet, you see a beautiful pulse of light at the heart with the heartbeat, with the breath. Now let that visual go for a moment. Same thing as if we were going to turn that whole thing horizontal, with light on the right and on the left, or your left to my right, and see it happening again. Now hands are out to the side, open heart, palms facing forward. Creating a cross with a beautiful pulse from both sides in the middle, at the heart, at our core. Breathing in all the time through the nose and out through the nose, with a nice straight spine, elevated as if string is pulling you up but not back. Head's looking straight ahead, feet are nice and balanced. Now bring the hands in to where that pulse is happening. And from your hands now, I want you to be aware that's still going on in the background. Let go that visual, bring in this one. Light flowing down, so much so it's pulsing all the way from the top of the head, through the head, through the neck, the shoulders, down the arms. It splits off, but also continues down the column of the body and the core. Then again it splits off with the legs, And hands, and through your hands, rub them together. Mix that light. Feel that in the warmth, in the friction, and slowly pull the hands apart until you're holding a ball in front of your heart. Lift the hands up above the head. Open the ball. Expand the ball. And hold in this position for the moment. Be aware of the other pulses going on that was there in the background, as well as this one as we're expanding it. Now bring it down through the head and hold in this pose, expanding around like a beach ball around the head. It's expanding. Contract it in with your hands until you're in front of your forehead. You feel the tingling in your hands possibly, and then expanding outwards. Then coming down through to the heart. The same thing. Come in. Feel energy like electric sparks flowing through your fingertips, through, if you've ever seen those balls that you touch and all the like colours and everything, same thing. Visualize that with the breath in, breath out, over in front of the heart, then coming down just in front of the stomach. And this time we're going to take that in and take our hands, and then the dominant hand goes over the belly button, just below the belly button. You have one on top. That energy's gone into your cauldron, as it's called, to flow where it needs to in the lower dantian. Condensing that, circulate the hands to what we call condensing the chi, going into that structure, that energy, and think about energy being compressed. Crystalline structures are created. The crystalline connection in the lower dantian. Visualize a crystal, and from that crystal focuses the light. Then it can be directed where it needs to go in the body. And if there's any way you want to send a little bit of extra light today, start first with yourself, with the body, where focus on what it is you have to do for your day. And I want you to send out like little breadcrumbs, you know, like when you're on the aeroplane and you get those little lights lighting up, little drops, little molecules out ahead, tiny structures that's full of compressed energy for when it's needed. Along the way, collecting it in incrementations where it needs to go in this illusion of time in the day, needed to draw on wherever it is. Also through the body, through the cells of the body, each of your cells. Remember, it's a continual flow, so we're directing that flow, slowing it down, so it's not too much for us to handle, because it can make us feel tired. Too much energy actually kind of has an opposite effect. See it around the body, and in particular coming up to the lungs. Bring the hands up as well. Extra little white light here. Come down to just below the cleavage. A little yellow light here. Little rainbow sparks coming from these white lights where it's needed. And then come down around the body. I want you to then push out around to the back, and hold the hands over the back. We were doing this recently. Our kidney energy, kidney wisdom, our ancestry, all of the things that we think about as being possibly genetic. Things we bring into this lifetime with us, the lessons, the wisdom. And then gently rub. And flow down. Now gently bend, because we've not done a lot of bending today. Slowly down the sides, very yang. Head comes down. Bend the knees as you go down and go as far as you can. So if you're sitting, you come to here as well. And you can do this sitting, or you can do this squatting. Take the elbows onto the sides of the knees. So if you're coming all the way down, the elbows here, and just push out. And if you want to get a deeper stretch, you can go up on the toes like me, and you can lean forward and open up. At the same time, if you can, if the hands are flat, you get a little stretch then going on with the wrists, as well as connecting and grounding. This is very grounding practice. Then slowly standing, pushing the butt up. Don't come all the way up. Stay at the knees. If you need to put the hands just above the knees. Working with the lower back in incrementation, slowly rising. Head comes up last, shoulders, neck and head, and start rolling the shoulders. So today's practice was an energy practice predominantly, and rolling forward, connecting you and centering you. We're going to do a little flow to finish. Dip the shoulders and lean, and then twist. We didn't bring any sound in today. Time. Now allow your hands to. I'm going to a quick practice, 5-minute practice of movement. So, rotating. Allow the head to follow, nice and loosely with the hands. Bring them up to the chest. Just very basic stuff that you would have seen me do lots and lots of times. But I want you to tune into how different it feels after what we just did. And still feeling that flow. Sending it to the body and the movement of the body. Side. Over the thighs. And around, flat hands down, around the stomach. And then whatever direction you were going, make sure you go the opposite way. You don't want to be one loosens up or one tightens up. Gently tapping. And then little slapping. This one's good for weight loss. If you do this one apparently for a couple of weeks, it will get things moving. If you're doing any detoxing, this is helpful. Knocking on the hip bones here. Detoxification, tonification. We're going to knock and slap, knock and slap, knock and slap. And when you slap, you bend. And then from here, down the legs to the sides, the insides, and then from there. Hang at the knees, inside of knees, hang at the ankles, inside of the ankles, and then from your toe, big toe, trace up and down, and now slap up and down and linger behind the knees. This time come up to the shoulders. 9 times here, 9 times at the elbow and at the wrist, bang them together. Come up and over 9 times. Bang the wrist together and over. Give that a push. And just to get the body pumping. This is something I learned from Jack Canfield, but it's really good when you're low of energy. And this time of year, especially if you have seasonal disorder, so the sun now, it's getting colder and it's like, oh no, I want the summer back kind of thing, I want the sun. This is great for lifting the mood for anyone that suffers from depression as well. So arms come over the head, but also to get the body moving. Now, if you just watch, breathe in and, or you can breathe in and just swing from here. So if you have any lower back issues, this is the alternative. Otherwise, here, if you want to stay here and you want a little bend going on, I can feel where I was training last week. Oh, here felt. So lifting the arms up, breathe in and up. Swing through if you're able to. I've got the tingling, so I can't do that as much at the moment, but you can pull through that and you work with whatever level's ready for you. Normally I would be at the moment, I'm not going to push my luck with this. I'm feeling this area. So breathing in, even if it's just pumping, and what you're also doing is you're pumping the blood flow. So from here, continue. What we're going to do is we're going to move the arms around. Great one to do to get the blood flowing to the hands. So if you've got cold hands and poor circulation, this is great. And if you move at the same time, move the hands. My actual ski instructor years ago showed me this movement, which is actually go and then move the opposite way. We're going to, of course, level that up now from the elbows. This is great for joints as well. Again, that can seize up in the winter, so we want to keep that flow with all of the fluids in the body, one direction then the other, and without kicking the cat. Joints, your hips. Now, if you can only just do this, or you can just do a little bit, that's fine. You listen to what's right with you. I know some of the people that view me have issues with their knees and stuff, so again, same here. You're doing this sitting down just side to side. Try and get a roll in if you're standing up. And that way. And then come to a seat. We've done a very basic class. And I have to speed this up to finish because of the time that I'm recording it. So today has been very quick with the movements, really. We've rushed through. You can spend a lot longer with each of these movements, and you can allow for your self to spend more time with the breath. I highly recommend the practice that we were doing. You can do this visualizing, and even if you're just visualizing it with the breath, as we started. What's that? It's cool. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, where's my necklace? It's caught around there. Deal with that later. This is a really good practice to connect you to your inner being. So just to finish, to conclude, here's my book, we do it with my words. Hands relaxed, relax your body. If you want to lay down, you can. In the infinity of life where I am, where you are, where we are, all is perfect, whole and complete. I am perfect, whole and complete. My past has no power over my present. I now move forward without fear, without reservation, with all that I am, aligned and connected to that which is the highest good. As I do so, I send ripples of love with the intention of love. This is the bit that we missed earlier. Not just to ourselves, not just to our day, but to everything around me, to the part of me that's connected to the universe, to all that is, the light that's linked, the space between the space of the protons and electrons deep within me on the micro, the macro, in the vastness that is this planet and this space and this galaxies and beyond, outside of space and time. I feel this inner knowing, this power. I take responsibility to hold with love and care every cell in my being and those around me, with that intention. Every interaction that I have with every living thing is with love and compassion, and chosen from love. I will not berate myself if at times I come unaligned, untethered. I will just see this as a reminder to come back to this point, the 0 point, the reset point, remembering all that I am. Remembered. Blessings for your day. Love to you and all. Thank you for listening. I will see you tomorrow for day 2. Thank you. I'll pop this up. Might take a little while, but blessings for your day. Let me just click for unrecord off. Does it go back? Let's stop the recording there and then I can talk.